Hello everybody. We are here again to talk about Lynn Spears' petition to, rather I guess it's like a nomination to have the Bessemer Trust Company of California serve as Britney's conservator. A lot of y'all asked me to go over this document. This is a very short document compared to what we usually do. Thank you. I am Sushmita for the birthday wishes. A lot of y'all wanted me to go over this document. I will tell you it's really short. It's literally like a sentence, but we're here and we'll do it. So this one was filed by Lynn Spears. As we know, that is Britney's mom. She just now became, she just now got the legal designation of an interested party or whatever on the account, right? Remember a few months ago she filed notice with the court saying that she wanted to be notified of any filings and things. So we assumed she would be taking a stronger role in the conservatorship when she did that. And here we do see that she has followed suit and done what we had assumed. So essentially, this is the entire document. I'll zoom out a little just so you can see it in its entirety. I mean, it's pretty much just this. That's pretty much all it is, but it says a lot, right? Hi, everyone. It says a lot in substance, right? Because what it really tells us is Lynn is taking a stand against the conservatorship in a way, right? So here we have, in the matter of the conservatorship of the person and the estate of Britney Jean Spears. The title of the document is Nomination of Conservator. This is where the case number will always be. We have the judge here. And then the whole document, the body is right here. Lynn Spears hereby nominates Bessemer Trust Company of California, NA usually means North America, to serve as conservator of the estate of Britney Jean Spears. Now that is dated August 27th, 2020, which is the same date as Britney's filing nominating the Bessemer Trust. At least that's when it was dated. The thing is with court documents, sometimes it'll be dated and signed on a certain date, and then, it won't be filed until a later date. So here we have, September 1st is whenever it was actually filed with the court. So she nominated the Bessemer Trust Company, and two Instagram lives ago, I actually went over that document of Britney petitioning the court to allow Bessemer Trust Company to be a conservator of her estate. If y'all want to watch that, then you should go back to 2 lives ago. All right, and then we have a second page here. It looks kind of exactly the same as that first page. Yeah, it looks exactly the same. Even the page number is page number 1. So maybe I just got... No, this says see attached. I don't know what the difference is between these two things. If anyone knows them, let me know. If Lisa McCarley is here, I always love using her as a cheat sheet. Here's Lynn Spears' signature. And then this is called a proof of service. It really is just a document that you have to file sometimes with certain court filings. And it pretty much just says, this is the way that the document was delivered to whoever it was supposed to be delivered to. Then you have, the attorneys that we're familiar with on the case, Geraldine Weil. We have Sam Ingham. I don't know who Lorianne Wright is. And then you have Jody Montgomery, the temporary conservator of the person. And really, y'all, that's the whole document. The drama, about it is just that, you do see Lynn siding with Britney and taking a stand for her. So I guess we can do maybe they needed copies, Depop this. So I guess we can do like a quick Q&A, or y'all can tell me some ideas that you have for types of videos y'all want to see in the future. Just to let you in a little bit of my personal life, I'm having a really bad day because the bar exam is really kicking my ass. Oh man, I could get into a whole entire live on that. Y'all let me know if you're willing to listen to me cry for an hour about the bar exam. Okay, so if I understand that this is for her estate, what happens with her? Anything changes if this gets approved? Will this give her any freedom? Okay, so Gerardo, for now until February, I'm under the impression that Jody Montgomery is going to continue to be the conservator of Britney's person. So this is dealing, as you just mentioned, with just the estate. I don't think this is really going to affect freedom very much, to the extent it's going to get Britney out of the conservatorship. I don't think that is going to affect it. The judge always the same on cases like this? Yeah, I mean, anything arising from the conservatorship would be heard in the jurisdiction in the court that has jurisdiction over the conservatorship. And in this case particularly, the probate court does have jurisdiction. Usually the same judge will continue to hear the same case. Of course, in the law, there are always exceptions. But for this case in particular, unless this judge were to resign or retire, get fired, removed, etc., I think this judge will be the same judge on the case. Free Britney 11 said, I think Britney's strategy is to remove James first and then file for termination once he's permanently removed. Free Britney 11, my hunch is to agree with you. I think that's true. Do you have any idea who the retired judge is? Depop this, which retired judge? Are you talking about Aviva K. Bob, or are you talking about Reva Gates, or someone else? Free Britney Jean Spears now. Can we trust Lynn? Oh, jury's still out on Lynn. Like, I'm leaning toward the camp of, I think Lynn is probably on team Free Britney at this point. But as far as can we trust? I mean, I don't know who we can trust, who we can't trust. But I think, we're going to continue to just search for the facts, read the facts, and do what we can with what information that we do have. Hopefully, we will start to see a move toward more transparency in, the movement in general. Liam said, why hasn't anyone filed termination? I don't understand. That's a great question, and I don't know why. Stevie B. Cha-Cha, have you been able to break down why the conservatorship is listed as voluntary, either as the new trust she wants the estate under? Okay, Stevie, either as the new trust she wants the estate. I don't understand the second part of your question, but as far as the first part, Meaner 03 is where I got this information from. But according to Meaner, the conservatorship is listed as voluntary because in 2008, Britney and the conservatorship team came together and reached sort of a negotiation where they kind of decided, hey, Britney, you can't go on the circus tour unless you agree to this conservatorship. And because Britney really wanted to work at that time, and she really wanted to keep touring and performing, she went ahead and agreed to the voluntary conservatorship. Now, again, I haven't seen those court documents myself, but I do consider Meaner to be a reputable source. So I think that's probably why it's voluntary. Lynn still doesn't want 40-something-year-old Britney to have access to her own money. Oh, is that right, Monica? Tasha says, I think she's trying to get her dad out first and then go through the process of trying to end the conservatorship. Yeah, that would seem... And listen, y'all, to be honest, if I was Britney's lawyer, that is what I would do too. And I understand why it seems like obviously we should just petition to just end the whole thing, right? But we have to remember, Geraldine Weil, Gerald Cohen, and all the people on that side of the conservatorship are experts at this. And they also have access to all Britney's money. So it's going to be very difficult, and it's going to take a lot of kind of like a chess game, right? Like a lot of strategic thinking in order to wiggle from, out of this. And it's probably, unfortunately, is going to take baby steps. But I'm super sympathetic to the fact that that's not ideal and it's not what you want to hear. You can't just file for termination in this case. She has to whittle away what's already in place. Yeah, exactly. Just for the krill of it. I agree. It's like she's trying to handle the financial part of the C-ship first because she knows that's ultimately what it's all about. Yeah, good point, Mike Loria. Can you go over... Oh, shoot. No, I'm not trying to comment. Okay, someone said... Can you go over... Sorry, I just totally was accidentally about to leave a comment. Oh, can I go... Okay, so Espo Marian said, can I go over Meaner 03's new post? It shows Jamie Lynn spending Britney's money, but Lynn did the same and she lives with Jamie, so I don't know either. Yeah, I can do a live on that. I'll probably just need to go back over those documents a little bit first, and then I'll just do a separate live on that. But I can do that. Somebody remind me about that in the comments once this goes up. Leah Jude 24 said, I want to know, is the judge blind? Can't he see all the documents that are resurfacing? You know, it's interesting. I try to give the benefit of the doubt to the judge because I am going into the legal profession and I don't, want bad blood. And also, there are actually pretty good reasons why the judge may not know this. Like, judges, by law, are kind of not supposed to go out and research the cases. They're supposed to only look in camera, which means in the courtroom what's presented to them by both sides. So I think, interestingly, that Exhibit A to the recent filing, right, Britney's opposition that she filed to not keep all the hearings sealed anymore. You remember how Exhibit A, Sam Ingham attached, that news article? I think he might have attached that news article exactly so that the judge can see some of these allegations, to start to open up some of those things to the judge. Depop this. The judge that Sam and Jamie had all of the all-day meeting with. Yeah, I haven't been able to figure out who that judge is, and it probably will remain, closed to us. It's probably just literally some retired judge we've never heard of. Just for the krill of it said, can't trust parents or family. Lynn is on Team Free Britney because she doesn't have much of a choice. Yeah, that's probably a fair assessment. Everyone has been harassing Lynn and Jamie. Yeah. I agree. I think Lynn knows the world is looking, so I guess she's good. Yeah. Try to type more, wouldn't let me. Okay. I think Britney wouldn't want to automatically go from C-ship to nothing at all. She'd want to set herself up for success. Yeah. And the thing is, where we are in the conservatorship right now is it's the most restrictive type of conservatorship. Right now, she's in she is in the same conservatorship type as if somebody was in a coma. There's nothing stricter. So even if she were to get in the less restrictive conservatorship, that would be a huge step in the right direction, which ultimately is full personal autonomy. But I agree, if I had been being watched, this is just me talking personally. I cannot speak for Britney, but just me, if I had been being watched, being handled, being basically treated like a baby for 12 years, I would probably need to, set myself up for success. And I think that's completely normal for anybody, in that type of situation. But, again, I can't speak for Britney, and I don't know what she would or wouldn't want. How do we put pressure on Jamie Lynn knowing she's been spending Britney's money? I don't think that I think there's pressure is already on. I don't think that we have to do anything extra. She already knows. I think she agreed to the C-ship because they use her sons as leverage. Oh, okay. No one would expect anything like this, honestly, especially from your own family. True. Okay. So people in the comments are saying that the children, Britney's sons, were used as leverage to get her to agree to the voluntary conservatorship. Again, I haven't seen paperwork to attest to that, but I mean, if several people in the comments are saying it, I'm sure they have a good source somewhere. Basically told, okay, so Free Britney 11 says I'm assuming they is the conservatorship. They basically told her it would end after the circus tour. There's a picture of her crying in her car the day when they allegedly decided the C-ship would be permanent. Oh, shoot. That's pretty bad. Nikki B33 said, if it's proven that Jamie, etc. lies in order to get this conservatorship, what is likely to happen? Audit, termination. No, it's not a silly question, Nikki B33, because it's actually not clear what would happen. Right? If it's proven that Jamie and them lied to get the conservatorship, there's lots of things that could happen, right? Britney could have, somebody could sue them, on their behalf. They could be prosecuted criminally by the state, and they could be investigated, right, by various state and federal authorities. There's lots of things that could happen, but also nothing could happen, right? It just depends who sees the information, who sees that it happened, and if everybody does what they're supposed to do. But right, that would require us to prove that Jamie, and all of them did in fact lie to get her into the conservatorship, which I won't, get too deep into what I think, but it probably wouldn't be too hard to prove. I don't know. That's just allegedly. Her team made her look unstable, just for the krill of it says. Yeah, I think that's probably true. Why the judge can't see all the resurfaced documents and that she has no dementia and that they were lying. Leah Jew 24 again. Why can't the judge see all the resurfaced documents? The judge conceivably should have had access to all of these. These aren't resurfaced to the judge, right? Like, judge is supposed to remember what happened in all these documents. So the judge can see them. As far as the dementia diagnosis, there was supposed to be a particular type of medical evaluation that was supposed to be done for Britney, the 7:30 evaluation, I think. Because of where we are in the court case, that kind of got put on hold. And I think it's bullshit, right? That's how it happened. But basically, the really unsatisfactory answer is it's legal technicalities is the reason why there is not an immediate evaluation. But I think that is a huge implication violation on Britney's human rights. And I think that the system should be changed so that it is not this way anymore, because pretty much we have someone who's like imprisoned in a conservatorship because of technicalities. And we really need to get to the bottom of whether or not she actually even needs to be in it. So that's a really good question. Let's see, let me scroll down. Oh, interesting. So matab.ebp says, Miss Protector, sorry, this is Lynn's nomination of Conservator of Bessemer Trust. It's like one sentence, you can read it. So now we're just doing a Q&A. Meaner says, Britney's leaked letter also states every time she brings her situation, she's threatened that they will take her kids away. Oh, okay. Thanks, Meaner. So that's another point of evidence that we have of how they kind of made Britney agree to this as a, quote, voluntary conservatorship, when in reality, it doesn't really seem as though it's very voluntary. It seems more like coerced if they're threatening her with custody of her children. So I did say I was going to answer Matab's question. There's a problem with the Oh, that's not a question. It's a fact. I think it's a good one. There's a problem that the conservatorship of the person was never made permanent. It has always been temporary for 12 years. Good piece of info. Lynn's petition backing Bessemer is Yeah, okay. Yep. I'll evaluate. Okay. You'll evaluate her. Blue Sky 76. Can someone sue Jamie and Lou since the documents are public? Leah Jew 24, I don't think we have to have what's called standing to sue someone, and legally I don't think we have standing. So if we tried to sue them, I think our cases would just be dismissed. They've manipulated, call me Vin Cruz says they've managed to manipulate the system long enough, and now they've got us against them, and we won't rest until the case is resolved. Fernando. Okay, more evidence about the voluntary nature of this. Jamie, according to Fernando Watch Mojo, Jamie said in a deposition that when Britney was in the 5150 hold, that was that involuntary hold in the psychiatric unit of UCLA Medical Center. When she was there, it says in Jamie's deposition that he promised to help with her kids. It's in the docs. So I guess he's wound up in the kids. Blue Sky 76 says they are writing a letter to the judge this weekend to say it's a human rights violation. I'm not sure that the judge is going to be allowed to read your letter, but let me know how that goes. Oh, okay. So Sumo CYCO 2017 says breatheheavy.com has the voicemail and all leaked emails and letters by Britney regarding the voluntary nature of the conservatorship. So thank you for that tip. That's breatheheavy.com. They have the info if you want more info. Shahenigans, I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing your name. Are her kids old enough to have a say? I do not believe that they are considered adults in the state of California at 13 and 14 years old. Okay, licensed clinical social worker, Blue Sky 76. Okay, so I don't really exactly know how like the ex parte communications with judges work, but if you have standing, Blue Sky 76, to write a letter to Judge Brenda Penny, and she will read it. Like, so there's, I don't want to mansplain. Blue Sky 76, you might know this, so I'm not assuming you don't, but just in case you don't, there's like these rules called ex parte communication, where people are not allowed to communicate with the judge outside of the presence of the lawyers who are on the case. I don't know how those rules work with licensed clinical social workers. So if you do have some special like ability to be able to write letters to the judge, like as a licensed clinical social worker, that I think would be fantastic. Absolutely, to use your power to be able to get through to her. Meaner says the conservatorship of the person and the estate were made permanent on October 28th, 2008. Okay, so a little record correction there. The conservatorship of the person, according to Meaner 03, is permanent as of October 28, 2008. Okay, that's awesome, Blue Sky 76. If you want to leak that letter to me, I'll do a live on that one too. It was made permanent. Hey, Queen. Hey. Any mother would be vulnerable when it's a matter of her kids, but especially because she was struggling with custody. Yeah, Free Britney 11. That makes sense. That's probably when he struck her eldest son. Oh, okay. So this old thing says the volunteer conservatorship also supposedly had something to do with getting the circus tour insured. Like they said, it couldn't be insured unless she was conserved. Oh, wow. That actually is kind of ringing a bell vaguely. Is there a financial... Okay, this is a good question for Meaner to help me out with if you're still here. Is there a financial trail from TriStar Stonebridge to Bridges Recovery to Mercy Ministries? Financial linking Larry and Dina. From TriStar to Stonebridge, I'm going to say the short answer to that is no. There might be some breadcrumbs, but I really don't want to speculate on that here because I don't have the paperwork in front of me. Free Britney 11 says that Britney's boys are turning 15 and 14 this month. Oh, wow. They wrestled the phone away from her. What did you think about her brother's live interview on the subject last month? It was odd, right? Yeah, Gina Marie, I thought it was really odd. He said like no fewer than 2 times that Britney has always wanted to get out of that conservatorship. And of course she doesn't like it. And it's kind of like, how can you advocate for something for your own sister when you know she doesn't want it? You know, I also thought it was weird that he said she was the world's worst driver when he's the one who's apparently like had a DUI or whatever, allegedly. And also Britney said like she's only had 1 speeding ticket ever. So if she's such a bad driver, it seems like, you know, he's an even worse driver. So I thought his interview was weird. I think he's a misogynist. I think he came off as a sexist. And, you know, he was like, oh, the women in our family are strong and independent, but, you know, they don't always need to get their wet. Like, I don't know. It was just weird. Like, ugh. Like, I'm from Louisiana. They're all from Louisiana. Like, it just felt like a very familiar, sexist, patriarchal dude trying to have control over a woman and his family's actions. I really, really did not like Brian Spears' interview with, as not seen on TV. I did not like that. Is it because of that? Okay, so Telia Calls says, is it because of that court orders that Britney has to follow everything her team wants her to do, even if she doesn't like it? Yeah, pretty much. She's like pretty much legally bound to do whatever her conservators say. Personally, professionally, financially. Also, this whole thing, good point, and I want to remind this again. You can write to the Attorney General of California. The info is in this old thing's profile. That's THISOLDETHING. Also, Lisa McCarley, Lawyers for Britney, they all have a sample letter that you can write to the Attorney General of the state of California. I think the only one that can record and take proof of the abuse is Lou and Sam. He can uncover them all. I think the only one that can record and take proof of the abuse. I don't know who can record and take proof of the abuse to this. Oh, you mean to sue Jamie? Oh, Lou and Sam. As of right now, I think that's true. I think Jody Montgomery may be able to also bring lawsuits on Britney's behalf against people who have wronged her, but that would be like a sort of complicated thing. The letter is public. Andrew Gallery leaked it. Okay, yeah, that's right. You can go to Andrew Gallery's TikTok. I remember hearing about that, the insurance and circus tour. Yeah. Meaner said they did not find a link with the bridge to recovery. It was just more like coincidental. Live Nation requested that the conservatorship would be in place as a requirement to renew her. Okay, so Free Britney 11 says, and also Leanne Simmons, hey Leanne, confirming it was reported that Live Nation would not insure the tour unless the conservatorship was in place. Okay. I think it was for Femme Fatale, not Circus. Okay, good to know. He really could be a great supporter for her, but yeah, the comments about females was so odd. It was just a weird interview. Do we know if she wanted to do Piece of Me in Vegas, or was it a push from the team? Anybody know the answer to that? Do we know if she wanted to do Piece of Me in Vegas, or was the team pushing her to do that? Billy Bo Man TX asks. If Sam, Dorian, okay, so Fernando Watch Mojo says, yeah, Live Nation asked for the Sea Ship to be in place for Femme Fatale, not for Circus. Okay, thank you for the clarification. Okay, Dorian says, if Sam is now suddenly defending Britney's interests, wouldn't that mean he has to expose himself if he was on Jamie and Lou's side before? Not necessarily. I mean, if he was on Jamie and Lou's side before, and he was really good at covering his tracks or making sure he didn't do anything that's traceable, he doesn't necessarily have to out himself. But, that's just, I'm not saying he did or didn't, but it does seem like he has changed his tune in the last few weeks. Monica 1977-0 says, what happens if she doesn't listen? What will the judge do to her? What happens if who doesn't listen? If Britney doesn't listen, or... Aw. Okay, Call Me Vin Cruz said there were rumors that her boys were crying backstage in Vegas because they knew Britney didn't want to do the show and still had to go on stage. That's sad. JWMX, I'm from Louisiana. You know she's propped up in Kentwood somewhere. I don't understand why did he ask to change the conservator instead of asking to end the conservatorship as she has the right to. Oh, yeah, Ahmed Gamoudi. I think that the reason that she hasn't asked to terminate it in its entirety yet is because she's gonna have to, it's gonna be a harder battle for her with Jamie in place to end the conservatorship than it would be if he was out of there, right? Because I assume to end the conservatorship, she's gonna want to have access to a bunch of documents that they're not gonna let her have. She's gonna want to have some cooperation from the other side that's neutral, right? Or that's fair. And I think that she is assuming she's not going to get that fair cooperation with the current circumstances. So my suspicion, and what a lot of people in the movement believe and think, is that she's trying to make the conservatorship easier to get out of. And in order to do that, she has to first remove her dad, her overbearing, abusive, alcoholic dad, from being in charge of her millions and millions of dollars, so that she can have someone who's fair and impartial and neutral on the other side of the conservatorship, so she can have an actual fair chance to get out of it. That's my hunch. Otherwise, the answer is she doesn't want to be out of it, which seems like a leap I'm not ready to make personally. Gina Marie made an edit to their original comment, and it's that Brian, Britney's brother, is in a position to be a great advocate, but he chooses not to be. The whole interview shows how the family really is surviving and benefiting off her earnings. Yeah, true. I don't trust Jody Montgomery at all, said Steph P. Teague. I don't either. If y'all haven't, and someone who has this info offhand, tell me. There's a really good podcast Brittany's Graham did, like 82, 87, something like that, but it's about Jody Montgomery, and it's like this family who basically their family member who was not rich and famous got trapped into a conservatorship, and y'all, like, you might even cry listening to it. Somebody put the name of the episode, if y'all could link it as a comment after this goes live, that would be really, really helpful, because that really exposes Jody Montgomery and like how she probably isn't like necessarily like this altruistic person who can like just be wholesale trusted. Derek R411, there was a situation where one of the media companies would not play Britney's music on the radio. I read a rumor that someone propositioned Britney inappropriately and she said hell no. Oh, that's weird. This was around in the zone. Oh, Brian works for Live Nation, Gina Marie? That's weird. Meaner, they told Britney the sea ship would end after circus tour. That's so sad. Leo Blanco BR, is that for Baton Rouge, Leo? Is asking Meaner if there are reports of them telling Britney that the sea ship would end after the circus tour. Didn't seem like she wanted okay, so Stevie B. Cha-Cha says, did not seem like she wanted Vegas at all or the entire Britney Jean era, given the fact she didn't sing on more than half of that CD. Okay. Judging by the looks of her face and photos during this time, it didn't look like her Vegas residency was her choice. Oops. I keep accidentally leaving comments. Okay. Rachel E. Burnett says, I'm pretty sure Sam Ingham and Jody have worked together in the past, so they might be in cahoots to end it or to save their rep. Oh, I haven't heard that theory before. Oh, what? Okay. Oh my God. Actually, wow. Okay. I want to give Rachel E. Burnett credit for this theory because, I think it's a cool one. I've heard the theory before that Jody Montgomery and Sam Ingham were in cahoots together to keep the conservatorship going. I didn't full sail buy into that, but it's a theory. I always like to remember who has what theories and all that and just keep it in the back of my mind. But what if Sam Ingham and Jody know that this shit is about to go down and so they're going to swoop in? They've worked together before, kind of, this is just a theory, y'all. It's just alleged. It's just a theory. I'm not even saying I believe it, but it's actually really good. What if they are not trying to come in and steal all what if they're oh shit, this is really bad. Let's come in here, fix this, make ourselves look like the heroes, escape professional liability, and move on. That's an interesting theory. I want to think more on that. What do y'all think about that theory? The real Caleb Ellis says the end game is to remove her dad and then get the fuck out. Okay, good. Hope so. Free Britney LA Tam says no, Britney has to find her money first before ditching the sea ship. Oh, that makes sense. She wants dad out, then baby it's on, Fernando says. Baby steps. Yeah, I think so too. Free Roger. Yeah, Roger. Free Roger is the name of the episode on Britney's Graham podcast that talks about Jody Montgomery. Free Roger. R-O-G-E-R. Oh my God, I almost said J. Will she ever be able to get the $600 million back from Lou? Good question. That episode is really sad, Stevie. I wonder what happened with Roger. Yeah, it would be nice to get an update. Looking forward to guesting with Sloan. Yeah, me and Sloan on YouTube are going to do a collab. I think Wednesday, Thursday. Jody Montgomery followed me on Twitter before she assumed. Okay, so Free Britney 11 says Jody Montgomery. Oh, this is so funny. Free Britney 11 said Jody Montgomery followed them on Twitter before she was the conservator. And then when news got out, she deleted her Twitter account. What do y'all think about the fact Lance Bass deleted his Twitter? I know this is a facts platform, but I did think that was a little hilarious. Marty KAX said that Brian used to work with Live Nation and doesn't anymore. Could be wrong, doesn't know. Miss Protector likes that theory. Sam Jody theory, I would say, is correct. We have found dirt on both. Wow, Leanne. Wow, I love that theory. Have y'all heard that before? Okay. That was brand new to me. I hadn't thought of that before. I was just seeing the bad, but yeah, what if they're all about to be in cahoots to end this thing? That would be really great. Leanne says Jamie will be the fall guy and others will get away with their crimes. That makes the most sense. Because it's probably just going to be pretty easy to meet the burden to prove that he was just negligent. They don't even have to prove recklessness. And then the fact that he's not a professional, he doesn't have any licenses, certificates, all of the people with licenses and certificates who are in a profession will probably team up with each other and just kind of be yeah, that bumpkin, it's all him. Wow, I love this theory. Oh, good. Okay, everybody likes it too. Okay, I hope so. It is strange how Mr. Ingham is all of a sudden standing up for her. Okay, so Steph Teague says, Sam Ingham and Jody Montgomery have to save their ass. Lou Taylor and Andrew Wallet are messy, and they don't want to go down with the others. But, okay, I agree, but the question that remains in my mind is, why is Andrew Wallet trying to come back if he doesn't want to go down with the ship? Like, it seems like this was his perfect opportunity to be like, oh, I don't have anything to do with that anymore, and like leave. Like, do you think maybe they have dirt on him? Like, if it is true that he doesn't want to go down with this, why is he trying to get back in it? Steph, what do you think? Or others? 100% Jody and Ingham are fighting Lou and Jamie for the last of the estate money, Kaleidoquake says. Oh, okay. So Billy Bowman TX says Britney's Graham mentioned Sam and Jody, so Sam Ingham and Jody were talking and laughing together before one of the court hearings. Okay, interesting. Hopefully they all have insurance. Yeah, I agree. Mateo Bryant. Maybe Jody and Sam will try to stay in place, but obviously fans won't settle for that. Can we discuss how much of a puppet Jamie JL is? Yeah, I do think that she's really in deep with Lou Taylor. K-Fed, yeah. Wholeheartedly believe that theory. Tasha said that $600 million that was funneled into Stonebridge could be potentially lost. Yeah, I mean, Christina Hines, all they have to do is, even if they just lose, like, let's say they, like, make a stupid investment. Like, let's say they, like, invest in a company and then it goes bankrupt tomorrow and now they lost all their money. That's just gone now. Like, it's just gone. Like, and that's fine. Like, they're allowed to do that. So, yeah, it's possible that Britney will never get any of the money back, even if, you know, they just invested irresponsibly. Plus, we're talking about fees and all of that. The Graham girls, okay, so Fernando Watch Mojo says, the Graham girls did say that Jody and Ingham had worked in the past. I do believe, thanks to the Free Britney pressure, they're trying to save their behinds. Yeah, definitely think that too. Saw about Roger, but wait, it's Lou Taylor, not Jody, isn't it? No, Miss Protector, the episode about the episode about Roger is mostly concerning Jody Montgomery and her husband's firm, I think. Maybe Lou was in there too. I think Lou wants to stand up for Brit and support. Lance. So I read that wrong. So I think Lance wants to stand up for Brit and support her, but he doesn't want the media attention. That's a theory. I hope you're right. I don't have that much faith in. Meaner said, on the day Jody was appointed as Britney's conservator, it took 5 minutes for us to expose her and find a case where she was accused of abusing a conservatee. Yeah, so she has pretty easy to find allegations of conservatorship and a conservatee abuse in her portfolio. I hope they're going to end this thing just to save face. Jamie is too dumb to see the shit's falling apart. Yeah, he's not gonna. We can't Lou get away with her crimes. Keep the pressure on her. Yeah, for sure, no doubt. And also, like, at some point, there's only so much finger pointing that Lou in particular is going to be able to do, especially as the account reporter. Like, she had some kind of fiduciary responsibility to make sure what she was reporting was accurate and true, right? And the fact that, you know, if it were to come out that it wasn't, she can't point to Jamie Spears and say, well, he's dumb, he did it wrong. No, I mean, it's not Jamie's job, it's TriStar's job. So you had responsibility for that as the president or the CEO or whatever she is. Let's see. They purchased assets not listed on Free Britney and Casey Kasem. Lawsuit pissed Ingham and Jody. Oh, push. Lance is only about the media. I think Lance is embarrassed and hiding. I wonder if they don't have new episode. Does anyone know anything about the Britney's Grand podcast? Tasha Moppert is asking why they don't have new episodes. Did they take a break, or is it just like, I don't know. I honestly wasn't like an avid listener. I didn't know how often they really posted stuff. So, if anyone has info on that. Once Bessemer gets in, Lou is done, Leanne said, and I think that's probably true. I wish I took a screenshot when she followed me, but I didn't know who she was. Yeah, whenever I realized that, actually was a follower. If you're on this right now, please, take credit. But someone actually sent me a screenshot that Sam Asghari had liked one of my videos yesterday. I didn't even know he had, but I thought it was really interesting that, like, now that all these paperwork is being filed and all this stuff is being filed with the courts, like, looking like Bessemer Trust probably going to get appointed, looking like it's going to be over for Lou. Now Sam want to start liking stuff. I think it's good. Like, I know y'all know that I have my suspicions about him, but like, I do think it's good. Finally, he is starting to like things. And I think the same thing about Lynn. It's like, is she perfect? No. Could she have done more? Absolutely. Do I hold her accountable and responsible for the things that she has done? Also, absolutely. But thank God she's finally doing something, right? Oh, okay. Derek R411 says, Britney's Graham said they have a bombshell they were going to release. Then they went silent. Oh, God. So someone's saying I should contact Britney's Graham to work out an episode. Oh my God, but on what? Like, I just come on here and do this. Should the professionals not carry professionals? Not saying Jamie shouldn't face what he's done. I just hope the others don't get off with everything. Yeah, no, Nikki B33. I also hope they don't get off with everything. But just ultimately, that is what I have personally seen and experienced. Is like people who are like accountants or lawyers or whatever. They kind of like look out for each other, even if they're on different sides of the same case, right? And they kind of like to throw other people under the bus. Now, that's not everybody, but with corrupt people and corrupt professionals, that is what I've seen. Okay, so Mona Lisa Nee, hey, the Britney's Graham girls hinted that they are working on a documentary. Okay, so maybe that's why they're taking a break. Can Bessemer take their names? So Steph is asking, can Bessemer take Lou and Jamie and them's names off of Britney's companies? Yes, they can. If they were appointed conservator. Now, here's going to be the problem. If they're appointed conservator, Jamie Spears, to my understanding, and if somebody has better understanding than me, probably Lisa, to my understanding, Jamie Spears is still going to be a conservator. So he's going to be a co-conservator with Bessemer Trust until he resigns or is removed. So, like, let's say that it comes to a point in time where Bessemer says, hey, Jamie, we need to take your name off this company and put our name, and there's a disagreement there. I don't know who would win if there's a disagreement. And I don't know, because I think that they would still be co-conservators until Jamie's actually removed or resigns. So I really don't know what would happen if they disagreed. But technically, they should have the power to change the names on Britney's companies and change the registered agents. Why does Sam care now knowing his job will be over? Horizontally raising hell, I think just because, like, he doesn't want to go down in history as, like, that guy. Otherwise, I really don't know. Leanne said, maybe everyone is starting to feel empowered. Sam, Lynn, etc. Maybe they were scared before, but now they know we've got their back. Yeah, true. I mean, honestly, true. That's a good point, because what has changed in the time being also is public pressure, right? So maybe they weren't being corrupt. Maybe they were being bullied too. I guess that's possible. They are working with a lot of money. Good point, Leanne. Britney seems to have lots of anxiety. I don't blame her at all. Shit, me too. I have anxiety just thinking about her situation. Probably everyone is going to blame it all on James. I agree. Oh, shoot. My comment thing. Okay, so Britney has said it. So just for the krill of it, Britney has said it herself that both friends and family have conspired against her. Wow, that's really so sad. Interesting about the Graham girls. Yeah. Someone should look into that. Yeah, and see if they're making a documentary. I think Britney wants the Bessemer and Jody and remove Jamie. Yeah, that is what Britney has filed in court that she wants. Tilia Sickles, you saw that there was a huge amount of money, millions spent on her judge and attorneys. Is that normal in America? Yeah, it's pretty common in the United States for people to have to pay lots of money in legal fees, especially in cases like this. I don't think that her conservatorship is paying the judge, but what usually the way that judges are paid is through kind of like taxpayer dollars. The state pays them. Or the jurisdiction, the municipality, wherever they are, right? But it's not like the person who's being seen in court has to pay the judge a paycheck. But you do have to, in the United States, in cases like this, pay attorneys' fees. And some of these attorneys at big law firms cost anywhere from $500 to $2,000 an hour. So there really has been a lot of millions and millions and millions of dollars spent on these attorneys in the last decade, 12 years. Free Britney 11 says that Britney's boyfriend Sam is a mystery, but we do have to trust Britney and give her the benefit of the doubt. She's allowed to make mistakes, and that's what we're fighting for. That is true. That is true. Good point. Isn't Ingham filing to remove Jamie? In filing, I thought that he said that filing was coming. He did say, Steph, he may have said that. What I remember for certain is that they are going to oppose Andrew Wallet coming in as co-conservator again. But I'm not sure if Sam Ingham has explicitly said that he's going to be filing to remove Jamie. Oh, cool. Okay, we have West Coast Rich here. Hi, welcome. Thank you for joining. You helped produce a couple tracks for the new album before they decided to scrap it. I can DM you the rough signing verses. Oh, yes, that would be so fun. Oh, singing verses. Yes, Rich, send that to me. West Coast Rich. Also, legal fees are considerable. Lynn does not have access to Britney's money. That is true. Maybe that's why it took her so long to do something legally. Totally true. And I heard from a follower today in my DMs on Instagram that Lynn is selling like Rodden & Fields like skincare. So, I mean, maybe she's doing that for fun, but she's probably doing that because she needs money. So, I mean, if that tells you anything about her financial condition, which of course that's just speculation, but it would be hard to believe she would be selling Rodden & Fields for fun if she had enough money to fight off this conservatorship. So I do think that's a great point. Why is it a big deal, Monica 1977-0, why is it a big deal that Lynn nominated Bessemer when Jamie will continue to be a co-conservator? Monica, I think conceivably Bessemer will be able to find information of corruption or self-dealing or even just incompetence, etc., that would give us enough evidence to remove Jamie. But right now, we don't have any look on the inside because he holds the whole purse strings, right? So you have to put somebody in there you trust. You have to put somebody in there who you trust, or else it's just not going to, the information may not come out. If Sam Asghari had a loving relationship with Britt, he wouldn't have laughed with what Jamie called a joke days before Britney lets the world know it is no joke. Oh, okay. So Dorian, what do you mean? What did he laugh at? I missed that. He wouldn't have laughed with what Jamie called a joke days before Britney lets the world know it is no joke at all. Judge Pisces, why didn't they say Britney is opposed to having Jamie as a conservator of her state at all? That's a great question. I have also wondered why they weren't clearer with their language. I don't know the answer to that. It's Android Bitch said, I'm sorry, I don't trust anyone from the Spears family. And I think that's fair. We all had panic attacks reading the C-Ship timeline, yeah. I don't think she really had a choice when it came to Sam, honestly. I think that's just my opinion on that. So, yeah, someone had asked in the comments, sorry, I don't remember who asked, do we have any theories about how Britney learned about the Free Britney movement? And Sunshine Sparkles is saying that their theory is through Britney's kid, like she learned about it through her kids and Sam Asghari because they have been seen liking Free Britney posts in the past. That's true. Miss Protector, don't want to get in trouble legally. Am I allowed to do that? I didn't sign anything. Yeah, I mean, West Coast Rich, if you didn't, you're only allowed to do it legally. I mean, you're generally allowed to do that legally unless you signed an agreement that you didn't. I don't want to give you any legal advice, but yeah, just try to think if you agreed in any way to not release it. And also when you send me those files, and if you change your mind, totally cool. I won't hold you to it. But when you send me those, let me know which of them you would rather me not, share publicly, or if it's okay if I share them all publicly or whatever. Don't want to breach anybody's trust. Remember Britney mom made the whole Dr. Phil fiasco? I don't trust her. Yeah, I didn't. Was Lynn who sent Dr. Phil? It's weird. Oh, Derek used to chat with Sam Asghari before he was Britney's boyfriend publicly. I asked him to give Britney a letter for me, and he said he does not get into her affairs like that, and he tries to be respectful. Oh, well, look like the tides have shifted, huh? Spent $12 million to date. I think Mina should. Yeah, Fernando says there's been $12 million in lawyer fees to date. Oh, West Coast Rich says, sad they scrapped the tracks. She was refused musical independence. Interesting. Who refused her? Is that like common knowledge and I just didn't know? She should have musical independence. I agree. Touch of Pisces. Jamie Lynn also lives off Britney's money. Yeah, and she like alleges that she doesn't. Who was it that snapped that picture of that Rolex band? Good job. That was like some very good investigation. It wasn't even the watch face. It was just like the band. And they were like, nice to see you have a $30,000 Rolex. I was like, clocked. Yeah, I know this old thing. Rodman Fields is also supposedly a scam MLM. Who is the new doctor of Britney? The last one died. I have no idea. West Coast Rich said, to follow up, yeah, they would not allow our vocal coaches to work with her. Oh my. Has anyone... So who is they, West Coast Rich? Was it just like, oh, they? Or was it like in particular someone like her dad or just like some random from the team? Like how does the hierarchy of decision making work in that way? What do we gain from Lynn requesting Bessemer as well? Just, I think it shows that another family member who is, Eric 93, another family member who is an interested party is also nominating this trust. And it isn't just Britney. Because you have to remember, Britney is considered, kind of like incompetent as far as the state is concerned. So Lynn, I think, is probably thinking, the state's going to think I am competent and I am an interested person as Britney's mother. I also agree that the money should go in this trust. And also, I think, Eric 93, it's a big deal that Lynn is backing it up because Lynn is also Britney's parent, just like Jamie is her parent. So now you have two parents, right? And so when one parent disagrees with the other parent in the court, right, what does the judge often do? Ask the child. So we basically are just giving more weight to Britney by Lynn saying she also is weighing in on this decision. Where's West Coast Rich? I had no idea the severity of this conservatorship until I worked with her, and I realized something is seriously off with her. Yeah, it's probably off with her because she's on forced antipsychotic medications. And Meaner03 said, let's not forget, Ingham asked the court the right to hire a litigator and said he plans to go on trial. I think a petition to remove Jamie is coming soon. I agree. I just don't know that they have explicitly said that they were going to do that. I just don't want to say, oh yeah, I read that and I didn't. But it definitely is my hunch that they will be absolutely be petitioning to get him out of here. I mean, okay. Oh, Dorian. I mean, the where's Britney Insta story. Oh, true. Okay, yeah. I forgot about that. Good point. Yeah, when he's like, haha, everybody's been asking, where's Britney, haha, and then he like walked up on her and scared the piss out of her while she was recording herself. That was rude. West Coast Rich, she says she was happy when she was recording her own choice in songs. When she was messing around in the studio singing Elvis Presley. As soon as her handlers came in, her demeanor switched up. Oh, okay. That's actually really good insight. Thank you for that, West Coast Rich. Thank you for this info. This is really helpful because a lot of times people are just like, oh, y'all are conspiracy theorists or y'all are whatever. But it's like, no, like this guy, is reputable music producer, like worked with Britney Spears and is speaking to that, and I think it's really important that y'all come forward. And I really am very thankful that you did. Start asking Sam about his muscle implants. Sam is fake AF. I think Jay and Sean said the movement. Okay, so B. Martin is real says, I think Jay and Sean said about the movement to Britney, and Sam, makeup artist, said he speaks to her and said she is on Breathe Heavy forums and reads everything. Oh, cool. Okay, if that's true, that's cool. The reason I don't trust Sam is because he plays along with her Instagram post and the fact that he called it inspiring and brave and insinuating she voluntarily checked herself in. Oh, right. See, I wasn't kind of like around the movement whenever Britney was hospitalized the last time, so I still kind of like forget like the details of what happened with that. It's common knowledge she has no musical independence. Her unreleased album, Original Doll, was destroyed. Okay, real Caleb Ellis coming in to fact check me. Sorry, I really don't know like a lot about the fandom or the albums and stuff, so I don't really know. Like, I don't mean to like misspeak, I just really don't know. So the real Caleb Ellis says, it's common knowledge she has no musical independence. Her unreleased album, Original Doll, was destroyed. So I'm assuming that was her own album. And she wasn't allowed to release it, and that's really sad. When she was sent to the mental facility against her will, money is funneled. Steph thinks money is funneled through Lou Taylor to fund Jamie, Lynn, and Jamie. Could be. Do we really know why Britney was not at the last court appearance? I thought the last one was supposed to happen since Britney was unable to join the last one because of connecting issues. I have no idea, Billy Bowman, why she wasn't there. Can send you the clip. Thank you. Yep. Why is Jamie... Yeah, I mean, that's a good question. Why is Jamie Spears not wanting her out of the conservatorship after 12 years? Yeah, good question. Like, I don't know. Because he said she had dementia? I don't know. Anyone in her family who wanted to support her could file this same thing for Bessemer. I think it's just, like, interested parties or whatever can file. But, like, yeah, this whole thing, I think so. So West Coast Rich is answering my question now. He's saying it was a team of people who had to approve it, about 5 people around her. Larry and another dude by the name of Chris, who had to approve. The contract is with the label's own hiring coaches. Okay. Oh, I'm learning all this stuff. Told just message me and I'll send some clips. Okay. We need more people like West Coast Rich to come forward. I agree. And I think that people will start coming forward once they're like, okay, I thought it was weird in the studio that one day, but like, other people are agreeing that this happened too. Derek said a paralegal from Andrew Wallett's office called and left a voicemail saying Britney was being held against her will in that institution. Wow. Oh, wow. Okay. Wait, West Coast Rich said, thank you. I'm an advocate for humanity, and it's obvious that people around her lack even the slightest compassion. Yeah, thank you so much, because there's so many people in the industry that are just complacent with this, and I totally understand, like, people can lose their jobs or whatever, but at the same time, like you said, this is humanity, like, this is another human being suffering, and, like, we have the opportunity to do something about it, you know? So her siblings could be interested parties, right? Yeah, they could be. Really surprised this producer wasn't forced into signing an NDA before getting anywhere near her. Yeah, West Coast Rich, did they not try to make you sign an NDA, or were other people in the studio supposed to sign NDAs? Like, how did that work? West Coast Rich said, that's why it gave me the courage. The Free Britney movement started picking up momentum, and I was on board. Yes, welcome to the movement. I'm brand new too, so. Isn't it true you have suspicion on a crime? Oh, Britney Confidential says, isn't it true that if you have suspicion on a crime, you can break an NDA? The general answer to that is sometimes, and it depends. But yes, sometimes you can, depending on the circumstances. But it's very circumstantial. Did you guys ever find any connections to the Bridges to Recovery? Is size matters here? Did we find connection to Bridges to Recovery, Rusty Taylor? I don't think so, Miss Protector. West Coast Rich and That Surprise Witness out here doing the Lord's work. Yeah, I'm so excited. Contralto. I love that word. Britney has a beautiful contralto deep voice. She should have the right to use it. Yeah, and it's probably like wrecked now from being forced into this vocal fry for the last 20 years. Why do you think more A-list celebs aren't publicly supporting the movement? Oh, they're worried about their paychecks. They all know each other, and they're all, and 08, they all know each other, and none of them want to get each other in trouble. They probably all have dirt on each other. How often are NDAs enforced? Well, if it's Lou Taylor on the other end of them, probably all the time. Anyway, so I have only like a minute and 30 seconds left, so I'm going to go ahead and get off this live. Y'all leave in the comments like what live you want to see next. I'll probably just keep going on the court documents that they file as they come out. Other people had signed NDAs, West Coast Rich said, and I told them I would have my lawyer look over it. And they refused to give me a copy of it. They wanted me to sign it on the spot with no legal advisement. I refused. That's when they scrapped the tracks and stopped me from working with her. Really? That's whenever you stop working with her? Whenever... Oh, that's odd. Okay, so just because the copy... My phone is like gonna die. I'm gonna read West Coast Rich's comments here because I know the comments disappear. Other people had signed NDAs, and West Coast Rich said that he wanted his lawyer to look over it. They refused to even give him a copy of it for his lawyer to look at, and they wanted him to sign it on the spot without any legal advisement, and he said no. And then that's whenever they scrapped the tracks and stopped West Coast Rich from working with Britney in particular. Wow, that's ridiculous. Yeah, like, should me and West Coast Rich do a live? That would be fun. Okay, there is a copy of the NDA floating around Twitter. Maybe me and West Coast Rich should go over the NDA and talk about things. I don't know. I just, whatever. Okay, I have 5 seconds left. So I'll see y'all later. Thanks for hanging out. It was fun as